Honorable Augustine Koenig, Senior Advisor to the President, Honorable Minister of Finance and Development Planning, and the MFDP team, officials of the Government of Liberia, development partners, private sector representatives, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Binta Masquai, and I am pleased to serve as one of your Masters of Ceremony for today's launch of the World Bank Group Liberia Country Partnership Framework 2025 to 2030.
And I'm Gwen Tower, your co-host for this very important program.
And to begin our program, we kindly ask you to stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Liberia, led by Chris Conte.
Good morning. Before we proceed, we'll place our right hand on our chest. Okay. Oh, hail Liberia, hail. Oh, hail Liberia, hail. This glorious land of liberty shall long be ours. Though you her name, green be her fame, and mighty be her powers. Though you her name, green be her fame, and mighty be her powers. And mighty be her powers. And mighty be her powers. In joy and gladness with our hearts united we shout the freedom of our race benighted. Long live Liberia, happy land, a home of glorious liberty by God's command. A home of glorious liberty by God's command. Thank you.
So at this point, we will all have our seats and watch a short video introducing the World Bank Group Liberia Country Partnership Framework 2025 to 2030.
Seems we're having some technical difficulties. Hang on.
Short video is about to be displayed. Speed moves from important information. Which must be made by the position to play and tribute display some important information.
Today's event is significant. The Country Partnership Framework represents the World Bank Group's strategic partnership framework with Liberia for the next 5 years. This framework is aligned with Vision 2030 and the government's Arrest agenda for inclusive development.
The CPF is a milestone.
Liberia, a nation of resilience and potential. Once a thriving middle-income country, it emerged from years of conflict in 2003 with peace restored and high hopes for a prosperous future. Today, with over 5 million citizens, Liberia stands at a crossroads. The promise of peace must now deliver jobs, opportunity, and a better quality of life for all Liberians. Rich in natural resources, Liberia is home to West Africa's largest forest reserve and endowed with gold, diamonds, and iron ore, among other natural endowments. With a young and vibrant population, Liberia has what it takes to thrive. Yet half the population still lives in poverty, and a third survive on less than $2.15 a day. GDP growth alone is not enough. Inclusive growth demands jobs, the path to prosperity. The time for transformation is now. The World Bank's new country partnership framework aligns with Liberia's Vision 2030, the country's bold roadmap for peace, stability, and inclusive growth. It supports the ambitious new National Development Plan. To support delivery of more and better jobs in Liberia, the CPF focuses on 4 essential outcomes. First, Liberia, a nation of resilience and potential. Once a thriving middle-income country, it emerged from years of conflict in 2003 with peace restored and high hopes for a prosperous future. Today, with over 5 million citizens, Liberia stands at a crossroads. The promise of peace must now deliver jobs, opportunity, and a better quality of life for all Liberians. Rich in natural resources, Liberia is home to natural endowments. With a young and vibrant population, Liberia has what it takes to thrive. Yet half the population still lives in poverty, and a third than $2.15 a day. GDP growth alone is not enough. Inclusive growth demands jobs, the path to prosperity. The time for transformation is now. The World Bank's new country partnership framework aligns with Liberia's Vision 2030, the country's bold roadmap for peace, stability, and inclusive growth. It supports the ambitious new National Development Plan. To support delivery of more and better jobs in Liberia, the CPF focuses on 4 essential outcomes. First, education and energy, key enabling conditions. Second, accountable, transparent governance. And third, private investment. By investing in education, infrastructure, and energy, Liberia can unlock jobs, especially for youth and women. Transparent governance and digital public services will empower citizens and build trust. With the private sector driving sustainable agriculture, forestry, and energy access, growth becomes inclusive and lasting. With a unified World Bank Group approach, Liberia can turn vision into reality, creating a future where every Liberian shares in the nation's progress. Liberia, a nation of resilience.
Thank you very much. As you just heard, the CPF is a milestone. This is the country partnership framework that gauges where the World Bank aligns its support to the government of Liberia, and it's going to shed light on why these areas of interventions are important and how, through partnership with the government and people of Liberia, the bank can be able to deliver results that are impactful for everyone. Thank you.
It sets the direction for the next 5 years, ensuring that every intervention contributes to building foundations for more and better jobs, stronger institutions, expanded opportunities, and improved services for Liberians.
And that's why we're here today to officially launch this country partnership framework that sets the stage for Liberia for the next 5 years of development through informed partnership and strong engagement across country. So at this point, Nathan.
Thank you very much. So at this point, we are very, very pleased to have you join us for today's launch. We will now move into special statements, beginning with remarks from the Governor of Liberia. I now invite Honorable Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Augustine Gafwan, to deliver a special statement on behalf of the government of Liberia. Honorable Minister.
Natalie Arcon, Division Director of the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank. Thanks for visiting as you promised when we signed the 23.7 megawatt solar agreement in Washington DC, and Mohammed Sharif of MC. You promised that you will visit us soon, and thank you very much. Our own Ms. Georgia Wallet, country manager of the World Bank Group here, and other players of World Bank and partners, including, you see, in our own Libya, representing the UNDP and the UN system, heads of development partner institutions here, WHO, Swedish Embassy, British and others. Sorry, I'm leaving one out. My own colleagues, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Jasso Jala, the Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry, Honorable Magdalene Dagose, and the Honorable Big Brother representative.
Good morning. Dr. Kone, Senior Advisor to the President of the Republic of Liberia. Honorable Augustine Lefon, Minister of Finance and Development Planning. Honorable Minister of Commerce and Industry. Honorable Minister of Education. And Honorable Representative of the Legislature. World Bank colleague, United Nations President Coordinator of Liberia, representative from the development partners, member of the diplomatic board, representative from the civil society, representatives from the private sector, member of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a real pleasure to be here today for the launch of the Liberia Country Partnership Framework. Congratulations to all of us. It is the result of the input that everybody in this room has been able to provide to the World Bank. As I begin my tenure as Regional Director for the West Africa Gulf of Guinea region, it is deeply meaningful to start with a moment that speaks to partnership, ambition, and shared purpose. This launch is more than a formal event. It is a signal that Liberia is ready to transform its potential into progress, to turn national aspiration into tangible impact for its people. Liberia, like several countries across the region, is standing at pivotal juncture. The fundamentals are here. A young and dynamic population, vast natural endowments, a growing entrepreneurial spirit, and a government broadly committed to reform. The Arrest agenda reflects this commitment by prioritizing agriculture, infrastructure, human capital, and the rule of law. It lays the foundation of a Liberia where opportunities are widespread and growth is sustainable. And today, through the CPF, we are aligning behind the government's ambition, not with abstract plans, but with concrete pathway for impact. The CPF is designed to help Liberia meet some of its deepest and most urgent needs. One, as it's been said, creating more and better jobs. Two, strengthening essential services through better governance. 3, expanding opportunities for women, youth, and MSMEs. Building resilience and attracting investment where it's most needed. This is really fully aligned with our global mission of ending poverty and promoting shared prosperity on the livable planet. The CPF will deliver and targeted support to Liberia agenda for inclusive development for 2025 to 2029. Across the developing country, 1.2 billion young people will enter the workforce in the coming decade, and Africa alone will have 740 million working age adults by 2050. Liberia reflects this global trend. 57% of the population is already of working age, and its share will continue to grow. This is Liberia's greatest asset, but only if the economy creates enough pathway for those young people to strive. That is why job creation sits really at the center of everything we could do within the World Bank Group. Job change lives. Job builds dignity. Jobs stabilize society. And jobs that help country turn growth into opportunity. The CPF supports this national priority, focusing on sectors that can generate development at scale, from agriculture and manufacturing to digital service, infrastructure, and tourism. That said, no matter how much progress we make collectively, the truth remains clear. The private sector creates 90% of all jobs across the continent. So, if Liberia is to unlock opportunity for millions, the private sector must grow, innovate, and invest. But for that to happen, the right environment needs to be in place. Critical to the private sector growth are reliable infrastructure, we talked about access to energy, predictable and transparent regulations, accessible and affordable financing, and markets that inspire investor confidence. This is where our institutions across the World Bank Group, the World Bank, IFC, and MIGA are working side by side with the governments and the other development partners. Through the CPF, we are collectively committed to strengthening the foundation Liberia will need to grow while unlocking new opportunities. As part of this broader effort, we are drawing on global initiatives designed to drive scale impact. Mission 300, that was mentioned by Minister Ndafwa, is this initiative from the World Bank Group to expand energy access to 300 million people by 2030. Liberia is signatory of the compact, and we are already making some progress. But also the agribusiness scale-up, including AgriConnect, a joint World Bank Group initiative to transform agriculture into a modern, commercial, and viable sector that not only attracts young people, but create jobs along the entire value chain and strengthen food security. This initiative matters for Liberia because they reinforce a sector that sits at the heart of its economic future. As one of the first 12 countries to conclude a compact under M300, Liberia has clearly prioritized objectives that this initiative has. And within this collective effort, IFC brings its own targeted tool. Our role is really to mobilize the private sector, to de-risk investments, and support businesses across their value chain, helping turning those global ambition into private sector opportunities on the ground. Liberia's demographic potential will only translate into economic opportunity if women and young people are fully included. Yet, Gender-based violence continues to undermine stability, productivity, and well-being. As we mark the 9th day of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, I want to reaffirm this. Safe environments at home, in school, in community, and in the workplace are essential for national development. Because when women are safe, they can pursue education, they can access job opportunity, and they can fully participate in economic life. We stand with the government and the private sector in advancing women empowerment, safety, and leadership. But as Minister Galfon said, the CPF is not the finish line. It is the beginning of a new cycle, a cycle of delivery. It commits all of us, government, development partner, the private sector, the civil society, to work with renewed ambition and urgency. We are here as a partner, not just today, but for the long road ahead. Together, we can unlock Liberia's full economic potential and build a future defined not by constraint but opportunity, shared, sustainable, and inclusive. We owe it to the young people, to the young women of the Republic of Liberia. Thank you.
We owe it to the future of Liberia. So at this point in time, we will welcome Honorable Sam P. Jala, Chairperson, Committee on Hydrocarbon, and member of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee of the House of Representatives, Republic of Liberia. Welcome.
Good morning to all. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. Yes, thank you. We need to order you from the Speaker of the House of Representatives, as well as Region Abicum, Deputy Speaker, Governor Father. Privy from that we're happy to be here for on behalf of the legislature. Like you know, for us in the governmental structure, we bring very fair legislation and fair solutions. So we look forward to stakeholders to give us the information that we form our judgment in making legislation will be hard also to get the kind of result that we want. Like the Finance Minister said, I think at this time we should look at practicality and not just the academics of the policies that we bring together. I'm here to represent and represent the legislature, and we will carry the message based on the stakeholder voices that we hear so that we can give the kind of support that is legislation that we can get the policies themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable. Next, we invite Mr. Ali Mamadou Dia, UNDP Resident Representative, speaking on behalf of the United Nations, Liberia.
Good morning. Honorable Dr. Kone, Senior Advisor to the President of Liberia, Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Minister partners, colleagues, and friends. I'm honored today to speak on behalf of the entire UN system, the entire UN family in Liberia, on behalf of Madam Christine Motoli, who is our able UN coordinator. The Minister and the Division Director has talked about it already. Today marks a very important step for the country as we launch the World Bank Country Partnership Framework. Because these frameworks arrive at a moment when Liberia is really determined to strengthen its institutions and create more and better jobs. But more importantly, give every young person, every woman, in every community in Liberia a fair chance to thrive. The government's agenda for inclusive development is clear about what must change. Because we all know that Liberia needs stronger foundation to grow its economy and to protect its people, but also to expand opportunity. And the UN family stands firmly behind this ambition because it reflects what Liberians themselves have constantly asked for, which is fairness, efficiency, and a future that is built on opportunity rather than chance. This is why the alignment between the World Bank, CPF, and the United Nations Cooperation Framework, which will be launched next week, also is the alignment is very important for us. Because both frameworks point in the same direction. Both recognize that Liberia's progress depends on systems that are resilient, that are accountable, and capable of creating jobs at scale. And both frameworks place people at the center, which is great. Farmers seeking better yield, small businesses owners looking for market and financing, workers needing skills, but also security, but also students wanting quality education, and women and young people demanding a rightful stake in the country's future. Across our frameworks, we see strong convergence in three areas that will shape Liberia's path forward. The first one is on human capital. Quality education. I'm happy to have the minister here. And the Minister of Finance has talked about it. Quality education. Better health outcomes. The WHO is here in the room trying to push them. Digital literacy and social protection, which are not only social investment, because these are economic necessities for the people and for Liberia. So Liberia's future workforce must be equipped to compete, to innovate, and to lead. And the UN and the World Bank already work closely together in these areas. There is room and urgency to go further, and the minister has talked about it. Because we all know when children learn well, when young people grow healthy, and when vulnerable households have protection, national productivity rises, and entire communities flourish. That was the human capital, where we see a lot of conventions on the work that we do. So the second pillar that we aim to do, work The UN and the World Bank cooperation frameworks stress the need to unlock private sector potential. I'm happy to see the President of the Chamber of Commerce in the room, who came to talk to I think, a few weeks ago about the private sector engagement that we all need to be supported. So the need to unlock private sector potential, expand access to energy, the Minister has talked about, modernize infrastructure, and support agriculture, not just as a sector of subsistence, but as a true engine of jobs and value addition. Here, the opportunity is immense. The UN's work on inclusive value chain with our colleagues from FAO, IFA, and so on. Enterprise development, digital transformation, and climate resilience agriculture links directly with the World Bank financing and analytical strategy. When we coordinate these efforts, we reduce duplication and we accelerate impact. And we build the economy base that Liberia needs to compete regionally and globally. Third, governance and institutional capacity. A strong and trusting state is the foundation for both economic and social progress. We all know that. The CPF and the UN cooperation framework share a commitment to transparency, to accountability, to public finance management, and public administration that works for the citizens. These reforms are demanding. They take persistence, but they have the bedrock upon which Liberia's long-term success will stand. Strong institutions increase investor confidence, deepen public trust, and ensure that national resources are used effectively to benefit the many, not the few. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to stress that synergy is not optional. Liberia's challenge are too complex for fragmented efforts. Every dollar, every problem, every reform gains strength when aligned with a common path. And the cost of disjointed action is too high for a country that deserves real and lasting progress. So the UN is fully committed to deeper collaboration with the World Bank and all partners. We stand ready to coordinate policy support. We stand ready to do data analysis and align operational efforts and work side by side with the government to implement both frameworks in a coherent and accountable way. We also want to help ensure that communities across Liberia feel the impact of this investment in their farms, in their clinics, in their schools, and in their markets. It's all about leaving no one behind, but also in their daily lives. This is how trust grows, and that is how development becomes real for people. So, to the government of Liberia, Senior Advisor Dr. Kone, Honorable Ministers, we commend the President and the entire Cabinet for your leadership and the clarity of the vision. To the world, we welcome this renewed partnership and the scale of ambition reflected in the CPF. To all our partners gathered here today, let us use this moment to raise our collective level of ambition like the bank did. Liberia deserves nothing less
resilient, accountable, and capable of delivering jobs at scale. So with that, we will invite Mrs. Akia Kemoka, Program Manager for NEMO, the Partner for Democratic Development in Liberia. Mrs. Akia.
Excellencies and officials of the government of Liberia, representatives of the World Bank Group, development partners, members of civil society, private sector leaders, fellow youth advocates, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Being invited to speak at this launch is meaningful for many young Liberians. Not because our influence is where it should be, but because our presence here symbolizes the direction we hope the country is moving toward. Moments like this remind us that youth engagement must not be ceremonial. It must become consistent and a genuine part of national development. My appreciation goes to the World Bank Group for including young people through every stage of the formulation of this country partnership framework for 2025 to 2030. This is part of the reason I stand here today. Some time ago, a young lady came to me and said, "Alfia, I'm a graduate and I'm so tired. Getting through high school was hard. University was difficult. I really need a job. Anything." I asked her, "Anything?" She replied, "Yes, even cleaning offices." I paused and I asked her again, "With your college credentials?" She lifted her hand, looked me in the eyes, and said something I will never forget. "I just need to start. I can't do much else." Her honesty moved me because her story is not unique. It mirrors the reality of many young Liberians navigating an economy where opportunity often exists on the horizon, but not within reach. Her words came back to me as I read the country partnership framework, especially the section on education, which focuses on literacy, basic skills, and building human capacity for job readiness. That is exactly what Liberia's youth need. Liberia has one of the youngest populations in the world, and many young people still struggle to secure stable work. Youth unemployment data shows that entering the job market remains difficult for a large share of young Liberians. At the same time, early grade reading assessment revealed that over 90% of third grade students are reading well below the national fluency levels linked to comprehension. These realities highlight the gap in human capital that continue to limit opportunities for young people across the country. This CPF was thoughtfully crafted. Its message is clear. Over the next 5 years, the World Bank Group's partnership with Liberia will focus on creating more and better jobs for Liberians. For young people, this commitment matters. It matters because it connects policy with possibility. It means that the investments and reforms made in the coming years can translate into real opportunities. The CPF also aligns with the government's arrest agenda for shifting from a concession-based state-led model to one that emphasizes value addition, private sector development, and inclusive economic growth. This shift is essential for a country where the labor force is expanding faster than the economy can absorb. As someone who works closely with young people, I see every day how deeply they want to be part of Liberia's progress. In communities such as West Point, Banjo, Lekepa, Owensville, Busekwata, and all across the entire country, young people are repairing electronics. They are running startups like Ignite Eco Gear, Environmental Rescue Initiative, Liberia IT Student Union, and Golden Academy. While others are building civic groups like Neighbor Liberia, others are tutoring, coding, and creating value with limited support. Their determination is not what needs fixing. What requires strengthening are the pathways that link their resilience to real opportunity. Youth potential is Liberia's greatest natural resource. If we fail to nurture it, we limit the very future we hope to be. The CPF recognizes this. It works to strengthen people's skills, improve services, and build stronger institutions, and create space for the private sector to strive. These are the systems that determine whether a young person gets a job, starts a business, or builds a stable future. When these systems work, the impact is immediate. Immediate for families, for communities, and the nation. For this CPF to succeed, collaboration will be essential. Government institutions, development partners, civil society, youth-led organizations, and the private sector all have important roles to play. The CPF emphasizes the importance of strong fundamentals such as accountability, and institutions that deliver. With these in place, development will reach every county, not just the capital, because Monrovia is not Liberia. To the World Bank Group and the government of Liberia, thank you for placing young people and women at the heart of this strategy. And to my fellow young Liberians, I encourage you to stay engaged. Read the CPF, understand what it promises, track its progress, hold all parties involved accountable for the outcomes it should deliver. Liberia's future will be shaped by the choices we make today, and by the opportunities we create for the generation that will inherit this nation. There is a great distress among young people. Reminds me of Isaiah 40:10, even youth will tire and weary. But if we build systems that match the strength, the resilience, and the imagination of Liberian youth, our progress will not only be possible, it will be unstoppable. And when the CPF is fully implemented, it should mean that young people, like the young lady whose story I shared here today, will not have to settle for anything just to survive. Instead, they will benefit from a Liberia where their education, their skills, and their potential finally meet real opportunity. Thank you.
Perspective of Liberia's youth and civil society. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give her another round of applause? We now proceed to the presentation of the World Bank Group Liberia Country Partnership Framework 2025 to 2030. I invite Ms. Georgia Wallen, World Bank Country Manager for Liberia.
representatives, civil society, media, ladies and gentlemen, Althea, and all of the young Liberians you also represent. Thank you for joining us for today's launch of the World Bank Group Country Partnership Framework. 2025 has all the markings of a milestone year. This is a year that's going to set the pace and the direction for development in Liberia over the next 5 years. It reminds me a bit of a relay race. You know, the last leg of the relay race is the one that has the most pressure. It's where the ambition, the urgency and focus is highest. And 2025 to 2030, this is the last leg of the journey, Liberia's journey to Vision 2030. The new National Development Plan, the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, is this last leg to Vision 2030. And the aim aims to reset Liberia's development model, to lift incomes by 25%, and to really foster deep and sustainable economic transformation. So capturing the ambition, urgency, and focus of the AAID, these are the elements that really have shaped the World Bank Group Country Partnership Framework. I just want to highlight 3 things for you to remember. First, as you've heard, the World Bank Group Partnership with Liberia over the next 5 years will have one single focus: building foundations for more and better jobs in Liberia. Everything we do, say, or write over the next 5 years will be motivated by this focus around jobs. Why? Because jobs are the surest pathway to prosperity. Jobs are at the heart of the AAID, and jobs are also at the heart of achieving the World Bank Group mission and vision. Yesterday's cabinet meeting, we understand, included renewed focus around identifying, pinpointing, and advancing the employment agenda here in Liberia. And we're very, very heartened that the World Bank Group, CPF, is well positioned to support Liberia in this area. Second, the question is how? How will we support Liberia in building foundations for more and better jobs? And this is what you're seeing here on the screen. The how is about foundational infrastructure, which includes human capital, the regulatory environment, so a governance environment that is fostering of jobs, and then of course private investment. So over the next 5 years, we're going to focus on 4 core outcome areas. The first, as Honorable Minister Gafwan mentioned, is reducing learning poverty. And there will be a heavy focus on foundational learning, including in kindergarten through 6th grade, literacy and numeracy. This is the foundation. But also skills building on various levels. Second is increasing energy access. Energy is an enabler for everything, from healthcare to business. Third is fostering accountable and effective governance. Governance really matters. Fourth and finally is increasing private investment, and that's linking up to areas of Liberia's natural comparative advantage, including agro-industry as well as forestry and sustainable forest economies. All we do, whether it's women's empowerment or lighting up health centers or promoting an SME accelerator, everything we do is going to have this unified focus on building those
Good morning, all protocols observed. My name is Inez S. Wizit, and I'll be performing a piece titled Broken Nation, Rise Again. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you intriguing tales once told by feet that walked this very soil in which our ancestors are embedded like the precious stones that lies within bond minds. Once upon a time, in a land where the waters that drizzled from the heavens were like gold and rubber, when culture and tradition walked pound face touching one another, there dwelt a girl whose beauty could not be described by the words from mere man's mouth. A girl who made head turn as she made her way to the busy corners of the land. A girl who the white hands described as the land of the free. For you see, she was an epitome of God's wondrous creation. Seeking dreams, unseen limitations, she hails from a land where it took an entire village to raise a child, where teachers would play the role of parents ready to teach them to lower their heads when their elders sat to discuss sacred things that weren't for their ears to hear. Sweet days, she would say. Those were the days of Lamco, where bush education was a prize. She had a hold of Renaissance, standing tall as the untouched Wologisi Mountain. A queen, she ruled with dignity. Like Solomon, her wisdom had wings. So that was the day her troubles and pain began. See, her belly became a place where bullets flew. In her eyes, you could see the stain of blood. On her cheeks, her body became not a temple as it was, but a place of war. 14 relevant years she wasted, doing what pleased her, harming her organs. A monster, her stomach grew, her lips no longer pretty as the morning dew. Her songs of worship were the sounds of gunshots, and within the sermons she preached, you would hear the cries of innocent children. You see, she preached the message. People lived by the sword, died by the sword, but the people of her land were slaughtered by swords they never lived by. The beauty in which her skin were once adorned with glorious red, whites, and blue were torn down for the birds of the earth to eat. See, the 11 stripes became invisible. The whites and the blues escaped the gap between her teeth, and the red shone, for it was the only color known by the children of her land. Her deeds had her beat down to the ground. The power that once shone upon her was seized by a force mightier than her. So she fell, with nowhere to turn to. So much skeleton dancing within her closet, only one option: to accept defeat. But did she? No. When she fell, she rose. She rose up to open up doors that were meant to close her up. She buried the years that she offered as burnt sacrifices, and from those ashes she rose again. Lion-hearted, unbroken, unbent, she became the lioness of Africa, mother of 15 children speaking 16 tongues. Her voice echoing across the valleys and rivers that she refused to forget. Mama Liberia. Scarred, yet stealing. Wounded, yet wise. Forever raising red, white, and blue. Not just as a flag, but as a testimony that even broken nations can rise again.
of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boykai Sr., delivered by Honorable Augustine Koenig, Senior Advisor to the President.
Honorable Ministers, other officials of government here present, members of the legislature here, distinguished representatives of the World Bank Group and IFC, Ms. Natalie Akon, Division Director, Ms. Georgia Wine, Country Manager. It's been a very long time. They gave me the opportunity to see her again. But every time I see her, I know something good is coming. She always delivers. Members of the diplomatic corps, international partners and friends, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you greetings on behalf of His Excellency President Joseph Yuma Boykai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, who is unable to attend this all-important occasion due to prior regional engagement. The President requested me to deliver the following remarks on his behalf. So let me start by saying this occasion, the formal launch of the World Bank Group Country Partnership for Liberia, stands as a defining moment in Liberia's journey toward inclusive growth and lasting national transformation. So on behalf of the President, I am deeply honored to join you for the formal launch of the World Bank Group's Country Partnership Framework for Liberia for the period of 2025 to 2030. This launch is more than the unveiling of a strategic document. It is a reaffirmation of trust. It is a renewal of partnership. It is a powerful declaration that Liberia is ready to build, ready to rise, and ready to lead its people into a future of prosperity. For decades, the World Bank has stood with the Liberian people. You have been present during our most difficult moments, from post-conflict recovery to the Ebola crisis, from infrastructure rebuilding to energy expansion, and from health system strengthening to support during COVID-19. Your contribution has helped stabilize our economy and rebuild systems that are essential for development. Today, Liberia recognizes and celebrates the World Bank enduring commitment to our national renewal. You have been a cornerstone in our economic recovery effort, and your support continues to empower our government to make progress where progress was once impossible. I am convinced that this country partnership framework aligns with our national development strategy, the ABREST agenda. This is the type of partnership we want. One where national priorities are respected, where collaboration is strategic, and where development is driven by the aspiration of Liberians themselves. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, while we gather here today to celebrate a new chapter of cooperation, we must also confront a difficult truth. Liberia faces a rising tide of unemployment, especially among our young people. As the country manager was saying in our cabinet meeting yesterday, we spent more than 2-3 hours discussing that, and the ministers returned there. So I believe that our youth are talented. They need jobs. They are energetic. They are innovative. They are hungry for opportunity. But too many of them are still searching for work, searching for dignity, and searching for a place in the economic life of their own country. This challenge cannot wait. This crisis cannot be ignored. This moment demands urgent collective action. So every project we launch, every policy we adopt, every investment we mobilize must answer a simple but powerful question. How many jobs will this create for the Liberian people, especially our youth? Let us remember in this room that job creation must move from being an aspiration to a national emergency priority. And I call on the World Bank Group and all development partners, let us work together to design immediate, workable, youth-centered solutions that provide dignified employment today, not years from now. To the World Bank Group, the IFC, our international partners, and global investors, Liberia extend gratitude and a heartfelt appeal. Stand with us, work with us, help us confront the employment crisis that threatens the dreams of an entire generation. Let us not allow the frustration of our youth to become a barrier to our collective progress. Let us transform their frustration into energies that will build roads, cultivate agriculture, power industries, and drive innovation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we must match Liberia's optimism with action, determination with resources, and vision with concrete commitments that create jobs, stimulate growth, and expand opportunities. The Country Partnership Framework 2025 to 2030 gives us a blueprint for progress. But what we need now is urgency in implementation, urgency in investment, and urgency in delivering results that our people can feel. So on behalf of His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, I thank the World Bank Group, IFC, and all development partners for for this renewed commitment and for believing in Liberian people. May this country partnership framework inspire deeper collaboration, stronger resolve, and faster progress. In the words of our President, let us continue to think Liberia, love Liberia, and be Liberia. Thank you. And it is therefore my duty to officially launch the World Bank Group Liberia Country Partnership Framework 2025 and reaffirm our government's commitment to its full implementation.
Thank you. So at this juncture, to present the World Bank Liberia Country Partnership Framework from 2025 to 2030, I'd like to invite some personalities to join Dr. Khan. So Honorable Minister of Finance, Dr. Gakwan, can you please join us? Honorable Madeleine Dagosere, Minister of Commerce, can you please join us? Honorable Jasso Jala, Minister of Education, can you please join us? Thank you. And we'll welcome our division chief, our division director, Mrs. Natalie Agnew, our country manager, Joshua, and I'm the president. Please join us.
We will now invite Mr. Kamina Daniel, IFC President Representative for Liberia, to deliver the closing remarks.
Honorable Dr. Kone, Senior Advisor to the President of the Republic of Liberia, Honorable Ministers and President, distinguished guests, members of the diplomatic corps and relevant partners, honorable members of government, and honorable members of legislation. On behalf of NC and the World Bank Group, I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to join us for the official launch of Liberia's partnership framework. As we conclude, I want to underscore the shared responsibility and opportunity before us. Liberia stands at a critical juncture. The political stability and reform momentum we see today provide a strong foundation for the growth. However, translating this into inclusive and sustainable development requires decisive action and unwavering collaboration. The CPI TPF is a roadmap and a call to partnership. To deliver on its promise, we must focus on some immediate critical next steps. 1. Establishing policy and regulatory enablers to unlock private sector investment. This means creating frameworks that promote competition, transparency, and innovation, particularly through well-structured public-private partnerships. PPPs will be essential to mobilizing private capital for infrastructure and service delivery. 2. Supporting business environment reforms through public-private dialogue and other platforms. Reforms cannot happen in isolation. We need structured engagement that charts actionable reform plans and ensures accountability in implementation. Such engagements will help reduce regulatory burdens and build investor confidence. 3. Investing in high-impact sectors with strong multiplier effects. Infrastructure, including roads, energy, and logistics, are the backbone for economic transformation. Strategic investments here will catalyze growth across agriculture, manufacturing, and services, creating jobs and improving competitiveness. 4. Investing in Liberian businesses through such initiatives as IFC's Local Champions Initiative. IFC is committed to investing in strong Liberian companies after providing advisory support to strengthen governance, operations, and market access. Building local champions is a key to fostering resilience and inclusive growth. And we see that happening already. None of these steps can succeed without continued partnership between government, private sector, development partners, and civil society. Together we can ensure that reforms translate into tangible benefits for Liberians. The vision of the CPF is to create quality jobs and inclusive growth through private sector-led solutions. Let us leave here today with a renewed commitment to turn this vision into reality. And I'm confident that working together with all of you will enable us to deliver lasting impact. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kobe. This brings us to an end of the formal program. We will now proceed with a guided tour of our what we call outcome zones, and this will be led by our colleague Alari Madi, and we'll begin with the high table. To be followed by other participants. Following this tour, we invite all of you to have lunch with us and enjoy some good cultural performances that will be coming from Liberia as well as the United Acrobatics of Liberia. So at this point, Alari.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the high table, my name is Ari Madi. I'm a senior private sector specialist for the World Bank. You'll see that we have worked really hard to operationalize and visualize our data, taking you through a journey that starts at the current portfolio, the impacts that we've already achieved, and walking you through the next 5 years, what we hope to achieve in partnership with the governments and people of Liberia. I'm happy to invite members of the high table and other distinguished guests to peruse
We recognize our esteemed private sector. Sorry, members of the high-tech please stay. Members of the private sector, Mr. Davis, time is true.